Hello you gorgeous people, and welcome back to a video. I have missed you guys so much, and today we'll be talking about the power of habits. And just as always, I'll be starting with a personal experience. And so I literally always was a person who expected so much of herself. Like, since the moment I can think, I literally always had high goals and high expectations of what and who I want to be in my life. So I literally always wanted to do so much in a day. Like, I wanted to study for multiple hours because being good academically and also working in an academic field was always really important for myself. So I literally expected myself to do multiple hours of studying without getting tired, without getting burned out. Then also working out, because that is also equally important, engaging with friends, but then also having time for my hobbies, because I don't want to be just my work and obviously my friendships. So I always expected myself to do these things in a day, and that basically gave me no rest, and I never knew how to get started. Like, I maybe got a motivational kick, and then I stayed consistent for a few days, and then I fell back for months into an old cycle of social media addiction and scrolling. And that was just because I never knew how to actually start making something a habit and how to actually get your things started. And I always waited for a motivational kick, even though discipline and consistency by the end of the day will always be stronger than motivation, because literally we are humans. We are not always motivated. We are tired sometimes. And by the end of the day, people are distinguishing, or people separate themselves whether they actually are not motivated and still get it done, or they are not motivated and they end up doing nothing. This is literally what separates people into two groups. And hopefully you'll be the one that still gets it done. And here are my tips and things that I do when it comes to forming something a habit. And the first thing is motivation. Even though I talk that motivation isn't as strong as discipline and consistency, which is true, you need a base. Like, you need a basic motivation on why you want to do that habit. And especially in the beginning, when starting a hobby, a habit can also be a hobby, it is really crucial for yourself to think of a why. Especially when it comes to you as a person. If you want to change your entire life around, for instance, ask yourself, who do you want to be and why do you want to be that person? Why do you actively want to change? Otherwise, if you don't have a clear why, you will listen to this video, you may be motivated for a day, and then it will be all back to zero. Like, literally think about things, why you actually want to change, why you actually want to be that person. Because if you don't have a clear why, you'll just be stumbling, floating around without any sense of it. So also this, and then if you have your clear motivation, especially when it comes to starting, keep that motivation visualized. Like, literally right here I have a vision board that I look at every day whenever I'm working at my desk or whenever I'm brushing my teeth. I make sure to look at it for like 1 minute a day. And so I look at it, and so I know what I'm going to do that day, how I'm going to even get started. Or especially when it comes to the media, like, you can actively choose what you want to consume. You aren't just a victim to the algorithm. Like, for example, for me, I want to be a psychologist. So I make sure to watch content from people that are already there or that are actively studying psychology just like I do, or people that, even self-improvement channels, people that are entrepreneurs, people who have achieved loads, because that would make me closer to their reality. I will learn their tips that they actively teach people online, and it won't even see that much out of reach for me, because I realize that they also have started from zero, and if they can do it, why wouldn't you be able to? Literally, why wouldn't you be able to? And so that is also really important for me. And then once you have your motivation all settled in, make a clear plan on what you want to do that day. Like, literally I genuinely want the first thing in the morning, whenever you wake up, to grab a journal and think about one thing that you can apply. Make sure to start little, but literally think about your life, what it looks like now, and think about one thing that is important to you that you actually want to make habit. And if you have gotten that thing, then get started. Literally just do it. And I don't care how long you do it. If you're not motivated, you can literally do it for 5 minutes. You can literally do it for 3 minutes. I don't care how long you do it, but literally just do it. Because the biggest abuse I think that you can do to yourself is to actively say, okay, today I'm going to do this, and actively promising to yourself that you're going to get it done and then end up not doing it. Because if you think about it, literally everyone around you, even your closest people, can lie to you without noticing it, technically. But if you even lie to yourself, it is genuinely a sort of disrespect towards yourself, and it literally makes you not trust you anymore. Like, for example, if I tell myself every day, okay, today I'm going to work out, I'm going to go into the gym, and then I'm not doing it, then I won't trust myself with anything. So make sure to actually get it done. I don't care if it's just 2 minutes of a YouTube workout. Literally make sure to get it done. Even if you're not motivated, do it for a short amount of time, because then your brain knows that you're actually doing the things that you told yourself to do. And then when you have your day where you feel like you can do more, then you can do 1 hour of gym, and then it will compensate the 5 minutes. It's literally fine. It's literally so fine. And also make sure to start small, literally, because for me, as I said, from my own experiences, I always wanted to do so much and I was so overwhelmed by it. So literally start with 1 or 2 things, apply them into your life, and then once you have these things settled, then you can add more things, but make sure to do more of a step by step than everything at once, because you will literally get burnt out if you do everything at once. And also, if you have the habit, literally be consistent. Do it as long as you can, as often as you can. Literally try to do it daily, because according to research, it approximately takes people 66 days to actually make something a habit. And I know 66 days is a really long time. So whenever you're starting a habit, you will be uncomfortable. You literally will be uncomfortable. The first days and the first weeks will literally feel horrible to you, I can guarantee you. But as soon as these 60 days of consistency are passed, I'm promising you it will be so easy. Like, especially in school, people always ask me how I am able to study that much. And the thing is, studying was never hard to me because I made it into my habit. And now when I think about studying, I'm not getting tired, I'm not getting drained or burnt out. It isn't hard for me to get started because it is a habit to me. It is normal to me. I can just get it done and start it without feeling like I have to have tons of motivation for it. It just comes natural. And so it is with every habit. So make sure, even if it's uncomfortable, to be consistent. As I said, on unmotivated days, you can literally set yourself a timer for 3 minutes and say, okay, I'm going to do it 3 minutes, and then I will stop if I don't want to. And then I do it 3 minutes, and then I realize, oh my god, this is actually not too bad. And then I do it more. I literally do it further and further, and then I got loads of work done. So literally the hardest thing is just getting started. So literally, if you're not motivated, then just do it for 3 or 5 minutes, and literally it will save your entire day. It will change your life. And that is also the thing about consistency. And if you feel like you can't, then also give yourself that rest, because I also believe always expecting yourself to be productive and to do loads can also be a form of self-abuse, because it could link to the unconscious belief, subconscious belief, that basically you are just worth something when you are achieving something or when you're actively being productive, and that is not true. So make sure to not make it self-abuse, because that is also a thing around people, definitely. And so if you need the rest, genuinely take the rest. If you need to spend a day locked in your room with the blinds down, just scrolling or watching YouTube or Netflix, genuinely give yourself the rest, give yourself the day. That is completely fine, but don't make it too long. Like I always say, when I skip a habit, that I maximum skip it for a day, but then I'll be right back. Because if the time gets too long of skipping it, you will find out of the habit, fall out of the habit, and then you need these 66 days to get back into it again, which is really hard. And also it will get harder getting started, especially in the gym. From own experience, whenever I skip the gym for a really large amount of time, genuinely it has become so hard. It literally has become so hard. I stepped into the gym and the second I was there, I already thought, oh my god, I want to get out. So make sure to not make the time in between too long. Make sure to combine a hard habit with an easy one. Like make habits that you want to imply as easy as you can. Like for example, because for me, whenever I study, I can't listen to music. If you're a person who can study while listening to music, then you can listen to your favorite playlist or something only when you study. But for me, it doesn't work. Like when I study, it's genuinely pure discipline of getting myself up. But especially when it comes to working out, I literally just pick out my favorite podcast and only listen to it whenever I work out. And then it's also easier to get started, because when I just think about the uncomfortable thing, which is working out, then obviously it feels like miles. It feels hard. But whenever I think, oh my god, when I work out, I can listen to my favorite podcast, it helps. And then I actually get it done. So make habits that you want to imply as easy as you can. Or when you draw or do a hobby, I don't know, for me it would be drawing. Then watch your favorite Netflix series. Just combine it, because then it's actually easier for you to get started and you'll associate it with a positive thing. Like you associate working out with the reward of watching or listening to a podcast that you like. And literally, pro tip, if you go running or do some sort of cardio, because I love cardio, it's genuinely my favorite thing ever, listen to a true crime podcast. If you also like true crime, like literally you break running records. It's genuinely such a good tip, but obviously not for everyone. And also when it comes to hard habits that you don't want to keep, like scrolling for a large amount of times, obviously a certain amount of scrolling is not bad, but literally if it comes to not controlling yourself, just literally spending your life on your phone, then make sure to combine it with something that is hard. Like literally, whenever I spend my day scrolling for multiple hours, I make sure to do something hard afterwards. No matter if I want it or not, if I scroll for hours, then I will do some work afterwards. Then I will then I will go out and work out afterwards. Like literally, and I don't care if it's in the middle of the night. Literally, sometimes I scroll till the middle of the night and I look back at my day and I think, oh my god, Sophia, what did you actually do that day? And then I realize I haven't done anything, and then literally, I don't care if I'm tired, I won't go to sleep and expect myself for tomorrow to be a better day, because most of the times I will wake up tomorrow and I will start with the same toxic cycle again. So I literally, whenever that happens, I don't care if I'm tired, I will do something productive. Even if it keeps me up for the entire night, I will literally force myself to make bad habits as uncomfortable as I can. And with that, I don't mean abusing myself. I don't mean not allowing myself to rest. I basically mean with that to make it as hard as I can. So whenever I think about the uncomfortable habit, I think about having to work out after that. I think about having to study after that. And I just basically think, no, I'm not going to do that. And that also helps me a lot And when it comes to habits, I think the most problematic thing is social media. It's genuinely the damn phone. It is, maybe your mother is right, and it is genuinely just a damn phone, because most of the time it is. Like, literally, we get consumed by it so much. And I googled, the average person spends approximately 1.5 hours on social media and 5 hours in total a day on their phone. So we spend half of our phone time on social media, and I don't even think that that is real. I think, especially in our generation and in the younger generations, I believe that the screen time on social media is way higher. I don't believe it's just 2.5 hours. That is even unrealistic. But let's just keep the 2.5 hours for now. And let's say we spend the 2.5 hours every day for a year. That would add up to 912.5 hours a year on social media, and that would end up as well in 38 days. Numbers, geez, but literally 38 days on social media. Like, obviously, if you combine it, you could say that it isn't as long, because 2.5 hours compared to what a lot of people spend on social media isn't too bad. But the thing is, let's just say that you have these 38 days and you spend even half of it. You decide to spend 1 hour less a day on social media and put that time into a skill that you genuinely want to improve in, that you genuinely want to learn from. You will literally change your life. You will become so good at it. Like, just think about it. If you spend 1 hour less than usual on social media and form it into a habit, into doing something that you want to do in that time, that genuinely keeps you inspired, literally your entire life will change, I promise you. And especially if we look at the average age of people and combine it with that, because women averagely reach an age or die at the age of 83, and men on average at the age of 78.2. And if we add that up with the time that an average consumes on social media, this would add up to approximately 7.5 years spent on your phone, on social media. And the thing is, some people may say, oh, but Sophia, the people don't start watching social media from age 0. Because, for example, our parents' generations, when they were younger, when they were our age, literally, they didn't even have phones, probably. They didn't even have social media, so obviously this doesn't count for everyone. But if you look at the younger generations, this could actually be a thing, to be on social media since age 0. Because literally whenever I go into a bus, I see children not even being able to walk, having their mother's phone in their hands and scrolling. Or sometimes when I'm at a restaurant with my family or with my friends, I literally see toddlers with an iPad, with headphones, not realizing anything that happens in the environment and around them, and just watching stuff. And obviously, I will never judge a parent, and I also definitely don't think that that is my place. Literally, that is not what I want to do. If you're a parent, you're amazing, and you should be cherished more than you probably actually get cherished. So well done, good job. But I think that it is really dangerous for your child to put it in front of an iPad because you don't want to play with it. Especially in early ages, it is really bad for their development, because when a child gets born, their brain always has double the amount of neurons than an adult. And that is because half of the neurons die, and the neurons that die are the ones that aren't being used or that the brain doesn't need. So if we stimulate our child in the early months and ages and years wrongly by, for example, just putting it in front of an iPad and making it consume content every time, literally the neurons that are important will die. And how will that child ever be able to get off a social media addiction if it gets raised that well? that way. So literally, obviously, there's nothing wrong with after a hard day of work to put your child in front of the TV and make it watch a series. But it can genuinely be really bad if you actively make it, yeah, if it only consumes that, especially for the child, like literally. And that's what I mean also with my videos. I can, because I have YouTube for creators, I know I can track, or I can see how long on average people watch my videos. And in a lot of videos it is an average watch time of 2.5 seconds. Literally, some people, they will click on my video and they will see that it's just me talking, that it's just me giving advice, and they will realize, oh my god, this is not as visually stimulating as scrolling is, and they will go off. Literally, people don't even have the attention span for a helpful video. If you're watching this and you're already at this point, well done. You probably only belong to the 1% of people that actually care about themselves, that actually want to change and actually want to do something. So well done. Yeah, I hope you liked this video. I hope that video helped you somehow. And as I said, don't think about being perfect. Just think about getting it started for even a short amount of time, and then you're already really good and already really should be proud of yourself for doing what you're doing. And I believe in you. Just the point that you watch this video means that you're self-oriented, that you want a good life for yourself, and that is a really good trait that even a lot of people don't have. So literally, be proud of yourself. And I have a book recommendation where I, to be honest, got most of the information from, and it's called Atomic Habits from James Clear. I discovered it when I was 13 years old during COVID, because back then, during COVID and quarantine and everything, and back then only supermarkets and drugstores were open, like literally bookshops weren't open. And since I wasn't going to school that time and I got homeschooled just like everyone, and you literally had all day to yourself, genuinely all I did was read. I genuinely just read ridiculous amounts. But since I didn't want to online shop so much and order a bunch of books, I also sometimes bought books from drugstores. They only had like 5 books, and that was because the bookstores obviously were closed, and in the drugstores they had the most boring books. And then I just picked out Atomic Habits, and it literally helped me so much during COVID to still stay consistent into my habits and to make the situation the best that I can. And this was so helpful. I reread it quite often. I genuinely really like the book, so this is also a recommendation. And this is the video. I love you. Bye bye.